Hello, I want to argue for autism today. For autism, which is a weird point to argue. It's probably going to make a lot of people bat an eye at it or whatever, but let's face it, I have a lot of unpopular opinions. And an unpopular opinion doesn't necessarily mean it's wrong or dumb or incorrect. I'm gonna get my unpopular opinions out there, and therefore I want to argue for having autism, which is actually two separate arguments. It's first of all, do you want to have autism, which is a weird question because why would you want to have autism? But there's also a second argument, which is do you want to know someone with autism? Like, do you want to be married to someone with autism? Do you want to, be the parent of someone with autism? Do you want to have a friend that has autism? Like, do you want to know someone? Because having autism affects people in two separate ways. Having autism and knowing someone with autism aren't the same, but they both come with their own problems. I want to argue this because I have this unique point of view or viewpoint rather on the matter, which is, hello, my name is Linus, I have Asperger syndrome, and also I am living with a person who has fibromyalgia, which I don't know. I'm not gonna try to not divide too much information onto you about my girlfriend because she's not here and she can't defend herself. But she has fibromyalgia, which struck me as an interesting point when I was thinking about it, because living with someone with fibromyalgia is kind of the same as a normal person living with someone that has Asperger's. And I guess that's the backstory I'm gonna have to tell before I start the argument. Even further back, okay, if you don't know what fibromyalgia is, it's this medical condition, it's not a disease, and they don't really know what it is. Like, medical science don't know what it is. They think it's a psychological condition that causes your body to feel pain even though you're not actually in pain. Like you feel pain, obviously, you can't move, your joints are stiff, you swell up sometimes, your brain gets foggy, you can't think properly. There's like a lot of symptoms that they normally just attribute to fibromyalgia because they don't know what else to put it on. It could be several different problems, or it could be this one problem. It could be psychological, it could be psychosomatic, or whatever it's called. They don't really exactly know. But it does have physical symptoms. It doesn't necessarily have physical symptoms that show, though. It does have certain pressure points that are extra painful on the patients. And my girlfriend has this problem. It's an actual problem. It might be in her head, and it might be non-lethal. It's not an actual physical problem, but it is an actual problem. She can't work properly. She can't get out of bed because when she puts her feet down, it hurts. It's a proper problem. She takes painkillers that are, literally, opiums or whatever, opiates, like, really strong painkillers. Strong to the point of being bad for you painkillers. And it affects her work life. And it's an interesting point because me living with her sees that as, sometimes in the morning she doesn't get out of bed because she's in pain. And in my head, I'm like, come on, work through the pain. Come on, we have stuff to do, kind of thing. Like, I understand she's in pain, but I can't see it, right? So sometimes I just feel like I want to kick her out of bed, but I know in my head that would be horrible because she's actually in pain. She has like physical problems doing heavy lifting and stuff, and I'm like, come on, we have stuff to do. It's like, it's difficult to not have the we have stuff to do argument, right? But she can't because of her problem. That's how it is. And it's invisible, and it's affecting her in ways that I can't understand myself. And, turning to the flip side, and look at how she must feel living with me. I have Asperger syndrome. It's a form of autism, in case you don't know. Very mild form of, I wouldn't say very mild. Well, depends on what you relate it to, but it's, like someone said, it's the common cold of autism, which I actually agree with, because we can actually interact with people. Like we're not Rain Man, we're still humans. I mean, so are they. But my point is, it's a milder form of autism. It's invisible. It affects me socially and physically. Asperger's means that you certain things, like you're extra sensitive to like touch, to light, to sounds. I can't quite put my finger on what gives me problems sometimes, and science doesn't really know why I have it. What's up with me, kind of thing. And she's living with me, and sometimes I'm like, I don't want to drink that glass because it has this much liquid missing from it. And it's like, there's problems, obviously. She's living with me, and she just has to accept it because I have Asperger's. And it's a very interesting point, right? This physical disease and this autism are very different, but when it comes to treating a person, treating as in, handling a person with it, it's a very similar thing. I once saw a guy who was, a grown-up. He was like 30 or something. He clearly had severe autism. I am assuming it was his parent or like his handler or something. Was he and his handler, either way, was driving up to this place they were going to eat. The handler gets out of the car, the autistic person gets out of the car, and then runs into traffic. He's as happy as a dog running into traffic. He doesn't care. He's just running like, ugh. And it's a sad thing to see, right? Not because of the autistic person running into traffic, because he's the happiest guy I've ever seen, right? He doesn't care that he's running into traffic. I'm not feeling bad for him. I'm feeling bad for his parents or his handler, even if he's just doing his job. Because here's the thing: if you're the parent of a child, you kind of want the child to succeed. You want the child to be better than you, be better than your father, kind of thing. And if the kid has severe autism, he's not gonna be better than you. As harsh as that sounds, that's how it is. He can't get a career. He can't, he might be able to find friends and love and stuff, but he can't do the things normal people can. It's the harsh truth. And you look at it and you're like, oh, poor guy who has to take care of that basically child, even though the child is a grown up. And it makes you feel bad for them. And that is part of my argument here. Another last part of backstory, I guess. I know this woman whom I don't remember ages and the name of the specific sickness or whatever, not sickness, condition. So I'm a bad friend in that case, but I don't remember details. But she has a daughter who has some kind of condition where she I think she's like 20 something. I don't remember, but she acts like a 4-year-old or something, like a child. She's a child in a grown-up's body. She doesn't quite talk. She just kind of, what's that thing that children do? Jollrar in Swedish. What? Baby talk. She baby talks. You can kind of talk to her, but she doesn't quite understand, kind of thing. And it's a heartwarming thing to see this woman take care of her child, even though she herself has proper problems, like physical problems. She has several kids. She's had, deaths in the family and all kinds of problems. But she it's like she doesn't care. She decided to take care of her child, and she doesn't give a crap that her child has any kind of problems, because it's still her child and she still loves it. Her. If I say it's not because of me being autistic. It's because I call all children it. Anyway, it's heartwarming, right? That she's that dedicated to taking care of the child, even though the child has problems. Yet, outside people are looking at that, including me, and they're like, "Oh, it's heartwarming, but it's kind of a shame, right? You don't wish autism on anyone, or an autistic child even on anyone. You don't want that. You want the family to be healthy and happy." So, that is how the world looks. Here is my argument for autism. First of all, do you want to have autism? Well, here's the thing. If you have autism, you don't really feel that bad about it, right? I have Asperger's. If someone asks me, do you think Asperger's is a good thing? Do you want Asperger's? I'd be like, heck yeah. Asperger's makes you smart. It makes you more logical. It makes you more kind of keen. It has some social and physical and other problems, of course, but I don't see it as a negative thing. Other forms of autism might not be as easy to paint in a good light, but if you ask someone with severe autism, do you like who you are, they're not gonna sit there and ponder meaning of life. They're probably gonna be like, I'm happy because I'm happy. Because autistic people are the happiest people ever, it seems. Not to be mean or anything, but that's it's kind of like how a dog is never sad. And if it is, you kind of like jingle your keys in front of him and it's fine. My point is that having autism isn't really something that makes you personally sad. It's like if you have a physical problem, it doesn't make you sad either, because you get used to it and you learn to walk with crutches. You get over it, right? So like the question, do you want to have Asperger's? I don't think that's an applicable question. I don't think that's actually a problem. As strange as that sounds. However, knowing someone with autism, and here's the thing. If I asked my girlfriend, do you want to have fibromyalgia? She would clearly say no. Like, she doesn't want that pain, obviously. But that's not really the question. The question isn't, do you want to cure your uncurable chronic illness, because she can't, right? And the question isn't, do you want to give up now? Like, you got handed a bad hand of cards. Do you want to give up? That's not the question. Nobody's asking her if she'd rather die than have fibromyalgia, because clearly she would be like, fuck no, I'll work through it. She's actually working 8 hours a day now, and I'm really proud about that, because I didn't think she would be able to do that. I thought that her pain would stop her from being able to have that amount of, getting up in the morning and doing work. She's in severe pain, but she's doing it anyway because she's working through it. She's stronger than that. And that is my point. It's not about giving up or not, because they have it. They have the autism. They have the problems. They got handed their hand of cards. They're happy with it because that's what they have. The problem comes from other people. The prejudices of other people having opinions about your autism or your fibromyalgia or whatever. Like, oh, are you sure you can do that physical thing? Are you sure this is like, are you sure you're happy? Are you sure you can do this and that? Other people are feeling much worse about my Asperger's than I feel about my Asperger's. And that is my argument, that it's not really about the autism, it's about the other people, right? Other people feel worse about it than you do. If people, in a way, I guess, if people just stopped meddling in your business in a way, it would be fine. A parent with a child that has autism is going to feel way worse than the child with autism is feeling. She's going to, the parent, he or she, is going to feel bad about the kid and themselves, but the kid isn't going to join in on that. The kid is going to be fine. Autism isn't the end of the world. Even if it is very severe autism, it's still a human being with feelings, a human being that deserves to be happy and have life. There's nothing different between someone with autism and someone who just loses a limb. People are gonna look at you and be like, "Oh, you poor thing, you can't shake hands anymore." But it's like, well, it's fine because I worked the strength up in my other hand, and now I can open yours like a son of a bitch. And I actually know a guy like that. My argument for autism here is that autism happens and it's fine. The problem is everyone else. The problem is that you are feeling sad about someone else's problem that they don't feel sad about. And I think that's a lesson that we need to kind of think about, right? Like, have you seen the people who are in the Paralympics? Those guys are more fit than I am, which isn't really a big achievement, but still. Yeah, that's my argument for autism, in a nutshell. You might not agree with it, let me know. And if you have autism and you hate it because you'd rather not have it, let me know as well, because that's not something anyone should feel like. And that's true for everything, not just autism. Like, you shouldn't feel like that about anything in your life. So anyway, I haven't made a video in a while. This is the first video in quite some time, and I have some opinions I want to get out. I'm thinking about making more videos like this where I just kind of rant about an argument. Like, I just have a point that other people might disagree with, and then just make that argument, because I like talking and listening to my own voice. Anyway, if you like this video, then thumb me up and share the video and stuff. It helps me grow. And if you have any questions, just ask, because, like I said, I have some viewpoints that other people might not have, which is always nice to have. You should get different viewpoints. Important. Right, I'm gonna end this video right now. I mean now.
Flamengo, minha paixão. Minha paixão. Mengão, minha paixão.